Hi everybody, this is Annette, also known as Grandma D. I am going to be putting together a windmill bag by RebsFabStash. This is a pattern that I received from them in my stash box. If you have not heard of RebsFabStash, they are an online quilt shop in Moscow, Idaho. And Christy and all the crew there are wonderful. She has been so gracious to make me an affiliate with Rebs. And in the information box below, I will be providing you my affiliate link. And if you would like to go check out RebsFabStash and see what they have, I would be most appreciative if you would use my link. So I have all the pieces pre-cut here, and we will go over those together, and we'll get started. So here we go. These are the pieces for the bag that I have cut out. These are the outside pieces of the bag, and I have 4 panels that are 7 inches wide by 23.5 long. And those are the part of the outer part of the bag. And this is the Granny Chic fabric from Lori Holt. And all these pieces are also 7 inches wide by 23.5. And as you can see on the front of the bag, this is how it will look like this. And this is a pocket that's on the front of the bag. These are the 2 pieces that I chose for the pocket. And also you can use a couple different things to give your bag more stability. I chose the interfacing. You can use either a lightweight, medium, or heavyweight interfacing. They recommend light or heavyweight. This is a medium weight fusible interfacing. This is what I had in hand, and I think it'll work just fine. There's 4 pieces here that are 6.5 by 23 inches to go on the back of these pieces. And these are the straps. This fabric was a 108 wide back, and she gave us enough to cut this and have 3 inches left over, which we're using for the straps. And you can cut them the length that you want. I chose to go the full length because I want a crossbody bag. And I'm also going to line these with the interfacing to give it a little more stability and a little more padding in the straps. You can also use batting or fusible fleece if you were to so choose. But I didn't want to use batting. I thought it would be too thick, and I don't have any fusible fleece. So that took care of that. So I am going to go into the other room, and we're going to attach the interfacing to the back of these and to the back of the straps. Okay, so we're back. I am in my sewing room, and I cut in my dining room because I have more space out there, and then I put things together in here. So sometimes there's a lot of back and forth, but that's okay. So we're going to fuse the fusible interfacing to the back of the sayings fabric. Now, fusible interfacing has, if you've never used it before, it's bumpy on one side. If you feel it, you can feel it. It's like, I don't know, like little pieces of dirt on there or something. I want to say if you ran your hand over braille writing, that's kind of what it might feel like. And then the front side is very smooth. And you want the bumpy side down against the back of your fabric because that's the glue. That's what holds the interfacing in place. And it comes in lightweight, medium, and heavyweight. And I also use Fusible fleece from time to time, but I don't have any right now. So I'm going to go ahead and use this. It'll be just fine. I'm planning on using this bag for like airport travel if I'm going out for the afternoon and I need something lighter than my big heavy purse that I normally carry. So let's get started. I'll show you how to fuse. Okay, so this is my first piece, and I have the bumpy side down against my fabric and the smooth side up. A good rule of thumb is to use a piece of cotton fabric. Anything will do, any spare pieces that you have laying around will work. And what this will do is, for one, it will protect your iron in case you make a boo-boo and have your bumpy side up. It will stick to this and not to the bottom of your iron. Okay, so you want to just double check, bumpy side down against your fabric. And interfacing is usually cut a little smaller than your fabric. They said 6.5 is this. This is 23 and a half long, and this is 23 long. So it gives you a little bit of space, and it's a little shorter. It's 6 wide here, and this is 6.5, and this is 7. So that gives you that. So, and what you want to do is you want to use a dry iron. I have my iron here at the ready. This is my trusty old gal, my Sunbeam. I use this a lot for ironing. This is a little iron I got from RebsFabStash. Love this little guy. It's a Mighty Notions iron, and it does steam. It has just a few holes in the top, but she steams like crazy. So that's a good iron. But this is my on the daily, and I've got the steam turned off. You want the steam turned off, and I usually have it on a higher setting. And you just put it on your fabric, count to 10, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Slide it down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now, one thing you can do is you can test it. You have to wait a few seconds. See, it's sticking. It's sticking to the, it's working. That's an indicator that it's working. There we go. Now see, it is stuck to my fabric, which is what you want. And this will give your fabric more stability, and you'll notice a difference. You will notice a difference. Now we're going to move this down. We're going to do this last little bit down here on the end, right here. And if it doesn't stick the first time, you can go ahead and put it on there again. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, so we've got the first piece done. Now it is sticking. And if it doesn't stick on the corners, just do it again. It'll be fine. So this is what the backing looks like with the interface on there. And this is the front. Isn't that beautiful? Isn't that just beautiful? Okay, so I am going to go ahead and fuse the rest of these pieces and get that done, and I'll be back. Okay, so we're back. I have all the fusing done on the pieces. Now I just wanted to show you, this is the fusible interfacing on the back of the straps, and I was just doing an estimate on the length, and once they're sewn on, the bag will hang like about right here. Now the straps are going to be folded over, so they'll be this wide. And there'll be 2 of them because there's 2 straps on the bag. So it'll hang low enough on my hip that I can carry a water bottle in my purse and my wallet and phone and, you know, all the things, and it'll work just fine. So one thing I wanted to mention is you'll know that your interfacing is fused because when you look at it on here, I know you can't exactly see it very well, but when you look on here, as you're fusing, if you look behind where you've already fused, the bumps disappear because the glue dissolves and it melts. So the bumps disappear. So you can see where you've left off. If you're fusing a long piece like this, you don't have to worry about it. So, these are the panels. I have these fused. I have 4 of these done. All ready to go for the bag. And one other thing to mention, when you open your interfacing, if you do not keep it, if it comes in a bag and you don't keep the bag, you want to mark it because they all look alike. And it's very easy to get interfacing mixed up. Interfacing is what you put in collars of shirts that have a regular tab collar, or cuffs on dress shirts have interfacing in them. That's why they're so stiff. And they use it a lot in crafting and in other things for clothes. And a lot of times, if you buy interfacing in like Joann Fabrics or something, it will come with this on it. This is the instructions for interfacing, and it explains how to use it. And if you see here, they also use interfacing for behind buttonholes. That's what this is. It goes behind buttonholes as well and other areas. And here they're showing how to put it on the collar of a shirt. And one other thing about interfacing is it doesn't have to be an exact science for cutting. If it's a little shy or a little over, you can just trim it off. Because that's what I did on the ends of these. I just threw the pieces away. When I cut them, they were the right length, so I just got close to the edge and just snipped them off. You know, interfacing, nobody's going to see it. It's sewn in. As long as it's stuck, you're good to go. And, I mean, you want it close, but it doesn't have to be exact. They do make sewable fleece or sewable interfacing that you can sew in place. That has to be an exact science, the size of your piece, because you have to be able to get it in the seam so that it will stay. I like this better because it kind of takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. But I bought medium weight a few different times, and so I just got it in this Ziploc bag, and I just throw it in my drawer with the rest of my interfacing. So we're going to do this bag in a couple of segments. So this will be segment 1 with my pieces cut and all the interfacing done. And I will come back probably tomorrow or the next day. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to go over what we talked about in the last video very briefly, and then we're going to start to put this bag together. Okay, so here we are on my ironing board, and these are the pieces for the bag, for the outside of the bag that I cut out last week. And we have the pocket, the straps, and the inner portion of the bag. The inner portion is not lined with interfacing. The outer portions of the bag are lined with a medium weight interfacing. And I wanted to explain how they have you sew this together. So I have this one pinned already. This is the part of the bag outer part. They want you to lay it out in a windmill style, and that's a one this way, one this way. This one is hanging over this way. Then we have this one going out this way. And in the photograph for the pattern, they have all the verbiage facing each other. So when you're holding your bag up from the top, the verbiage will all be going the same direction. This is all facing this way, and these are all facing up towards the center. And what they want you to do is to fold this section over this way, and this piece will fold over this way. And then they want you to sew down this right here, and where the corners come together, like where the corners come together. And on this one, it would be up here at the top where the two pieces come together. You have to give yourself a 1/2 inch, because these will come together, and you will sew these together. You'll sew these together, this together, and this together, and that will shape the bag. And you need that extra 1/2 inch to allow you to pull the bag together. So we are going to sew these, and I have this one marked. I turned a pin the other way so that I would know where to stop. And that is my 1/2 inch mark. So I'm going to start up here at the top, sew down, start here, and sew up. And I'm going to put a 1/2 inch mark up here. And so I will meet you at the machine, and we will do that. Okay, so we're back at my machine, and they want us to use a 1/2 inch seam allowance unless otherwise noted. So I have that marked on my machine, and we're going to go ahead and get started. Now, I am doing a back stitch right here just to secure it a little bit as I go along. And you want to remember that when we get up to the top, up here where we have our 1/2 inch mark, that's where we're going to stop. Now I put my pin on the back, so I'm going to be careful as I approach it so that I can pull it out. Oop, I got my pin. Shoot. Dang it. Okay, so we are back at the machine, and I have sewn the first piece together here so that you can see it's going to be an L shape like this, with your verbiage going in the same direction. This is coming up this way, and then this verbiage is going in towards the center, and that's what you want. So we are going to go ahead and sew the second one together. Now, because it has to go on the machine this way, we're starting at our 1/2 inch mark point where we have to give ourselves the room in the inner corner. And they want us to use the 1/2 inch seam allowance. I'm giving myself a little back stitch there because that corner is going to be a little stressed, because you're going to be matching up your seams and such as that, and you want it to hold. I'm hoping that this will be a really super cute bag when I get it done. I'm going to be traveling the end of the month, and I'm hopeful that I will have it done to take with me that day. My machine has a button on it that does a automatic cut, which is really nice sometimes. So now we have this sewn together with our 1/2 inch of leeway right there for putting it together. So I'm going to go back up to the ironing board, and we'll be back. Okay, so we're back at the ironing board, and we have our fabric laid out, our pieces, and we're going to put them right sides together, and then we're going to sew the windmill together. So this is what it looks like. I have one piece going this way down here, one piece up and going over, and our seam line is right here. So what we're going to do is we're going to flip this over like this, and we're going to match up our seam right here. This is our seam right here. We have this top piece and this one right here. We're going to match those up, and I'm going to pin it, and then I'm going to sew from here to here, to this corner. So I'll meet you at the machine. Okay, so we're back at the machine again. And again, we are going to sew from here to here. And this will sew the two legs of the windmill together at a 1/2 inch seam allowance. And I forgot to mention earlier that I did have to press my seams open when I did the first seams on here. And you just want to make sure that you know where your seam ends, or where your corner is, so that you know where to stop. Okay, so now we have our windmill piece sewn together here. There we are. We have our windmill piece sewed together. And I am going to press this seam open, and we'll be back. Okay, so now we're sewing the bag together so that it sews up and looks like a bag. Now you're going to pin, you're going to pull each side, like these two sides. You're going to pull those windmill legs together, and you're going to pin them like this so that it's together. Now you're going to have a little overhang at the top. Don't panic. It's supposed to be like that, because when you first look at it, you're like, oh no, one side is too short. Why is that happening? It's going to be that way. So I have this section pinned right here, and I have my overhang at the top. So I'm going to sew this on a 1/2 inch seam allowance, and I made a little clip in my fabric. I don't know if you can see that. I made a little clip in my fabric on one side right there to make it lay a little better. So we're going to go ahead and sew this, and then we're going to sew the other 4 sides around, and then I'll be back and I'll show you how it looks. Okay, we're back. I have the bag, the outer portion of the bag sewed together, and as you can see on the inside, that's what it looks like on the inside. And what you want to do is you want to come around the bottom and push out all 4 of your corners using your whatever you use to push with, your tool of choice, and make sure those 4 corners are pushed out. And you can also iron your seams flat, which I probably will do because it makes the bag look nicer. And then we will do the inner part of the bag, and the inner part goes together in the same fashion as the outer portion. So I am going to go ahead and turn this wrong side out again, and I'm going to iron my seams open, and then we will be back to do the inside portion of the bag.